Well, I'm glad you could join. It's me, Billy Jean, today. So, I don't make a lot of face videos because I don't have the time. I do pretty good and do about as well as I can to videotape what I'm cooking or what I'm planning to cook. I've been looking through the old Better Homes and Gardens cookbook that I have worn out. It was worn out. The other one that I had was worn out by my grandmother. They've used them so much, but the recipes, are similar, somewhat dated. But today for my video, I'm going to have a dinner get together this evening for a friend of mine. She's coming in from Belize, and I wanted to do something really nice for her. And so a Southern country staple would be for me to make meatloaf, mashed potatoes, bread, and then for dessert, the all famous pecan pie. I love pecan pie, but as you know, I'm a caregiver for my 91-year-old mother. She has type 2 diabetes, and I'm on the verge of type 2 diabetes, so I try not to overdo the sugar more than I need to. I grew up with sugar. My grandmother cooked with sugar, butter, lard, and I hate that it has come down that I could be diabetic, because I loved all that homemade sweet ice cream, homemade cakes, homemade pies. But nowadays, I don't try to cut out all the sugar. Most of my recipes that you see me do, I'll use half the sugar, and then I'll use half of the sweetener. I wanted to do the camera where we could talk for a minute, and then of course, since I'm no Martha Stewart and I'm not a cameraman by no means, I put the camera in my tripod to show my pot and the chopping, because I think that's very important. So we'll have our collard greens. I'll probably do them. I don't know, but I just wanted to say hello, Happy New Year. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe, because my mother, she reads all the comments and she loves it. So to make her happy, subscribe. So I've got to get our dinner going. We'll talk to you soon. Well, hello, my friends. I'm back. I thought I had a store-bought roll-out pie crust. Well, I didn't. I guess I used it and didn't realize it. I just got there. Mama, she's 91, be 92 in April. And I said, please, would you peel the potatoes for me? So I took them, and she peeled them for me. She's a good potato peeler. She's a good cook. But I don't want to burden her with having to cook. That's what I'm here for. Get you something good to drink. Now today I'm going to make my pie crust in my iron skillet for the pecan pie. So today I'm going to put in a cup of flour, since I've got that about a teaspoon, and I like mine a little different, a teaspoon of salt, about 2 tablespoons of sugar. That's cane sugar, that's why it's brown. Mix this around real good. I just use a little whisk and kind of mix it around. Okay, that'll be okay. Now we'll add a half a cup of cooking oil, which mine today I'm using vegetable oil. And then I'm going to put about 3.5 tablespoons to 4 of milk. We'll start mixing that. That oil makes, in the milk, makes that flour start getting kind of congealed in a way, I guess you could say. Let me get my other little spatula. Now I'll try to get that. That's why I like using the skillet, because boy, you can hang on to it. We'll see how this works today. And if your skillets are seasoned like they're supposed to, this won't really stick to them. Kind of mash it like you're. These pie crusts that my grandmother made, and I've seen a lot of people on the YouTubes and stuff do them, but I learned to do it from grandmother because she didn't like, especially at church days, she didn't like having to wash a bunch of dishes, and she would do. Probably need to add a little more milk. Not much, just about another tablespoon. Just not much at all. Just a little bit of milk. Then you start just forming it to your pan or bowl. Once it gets wet enough, I'm not going to put gloves on because it's just, I'm going to try to do it. I use one of those marshmallow plastic cream jars, and that kind of gets my, kind of helps. If I have to, I'll put a little flour on it. That's kind of got that bulbous shape on the side that you need for a pie pan. So I'll put just a remnant of flour, because you don't need much. And you kind of can roll that, see. Gives that elliptical shape to it. Roll that around there. Some of it's coming off, but you can always use it to fill in. Okay, I'll be back when I get this done. Now then, I had to use my fingers a little bit, and then I use this a little bit, because today it's kind of humid. But I think it'll be fine. Okay, there's our crust. We're going to try it. You know, if it don't work, I always make do. But I've never had this to really fail really bad or anything. So that's 1.5 cups of flour, but I put 2 cups. 1.5 teaspoon of kosher salt, but I put 2 teaspoons. So it'd be 2 cups of flour, 2 teaspoons of kosher salt, 2 tablespoons of sugar, about 1/2 cup of cooking oil, and 4 tablespoons of whole milk. And do just what I've showed you to do. Now, it's got a lot of grease in it, but it always makes a good pie crust. Let's set that over here until we get our pecan filling made. All right, we're going to put our 3 eggs into the bowl. Beat those. Then I'm going to add my 1/2 cup of brown sugar. I didn't do the whole cup. I did the 1/2 cup of brown sugar. Do 1/2 cup of our corn syrup, which I buy the corn syrup. If you look on the deal, they have a corn syrup now, the Karo people, that doesn't have that high fructose corn syrup in it. Now I'll show that to you so you'll know. I didn't realize it till this Christmas. See, it's 0 high fructose corn syrup, light corn syrup. So we're going to try that. I haven't tried it, but I know Karo's always been good. We'll do a teaspoon of vanilla, Mexican vanilla, or any vanilla. We'll do 1/2 teaspoon. I don't do a whole teaspoon. I just do 1/2 teaspoon of salt, because my butter, you know, I bet you, I got to look, and that doesn't look like a lot of ingredients, but we'll do it. I think I should have probably doubled the recipe for that skillet. I'll be right back. Let me see. We're going to go ahead, and I'm going to use 1/2 teaspoon of nutmeg and 1/2 teaspoon of cinnamon. It's probably more of a teaspoon, but it'll do. Yeah, that's not very much batter. Okay, I think I'm gonna, let's see, that might bake up. We'll just see how it does, because I don't want to overdo it. Let's put in our 1/4 cup of salted butter. Then I use a 1/2 cup of maple syrup. That kind of helps. Then I use my 1/2 cup of Splenda, which I use sucralose. Okay, we're going to do this. So I put in 1/2 cup of dark brown sugar, 1/2 cup of light corn syrup, 3 large eggs beaten, 1/4 cup of salted butter. I'm trying to read my grandmother's recipe on this old card. 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract, 1 teaspoon of salt, 1/4 teaspoon of ground cinnamon, which I did a half, and a 1/2 teaspoon of nutmeg. Okay, what we're going to do now is I've chopped these pecans, and I'm going to just pour them down into my pan. Then smooth them out. They'll float. Then I'll stir this up good. What I was going to tell you is you get about a teaspoon. Let me get out of my water dispenser. My grandmother always said you have to have a teaspoon of water in a pecan pie, because that, even though it didn't call for it, she said you have to have it because it steams the eggs as they cook. The water, since you don't have any other water, you got the milk, and so now we'll put that in our pie shell. See that's coming out just probably fine. I just got kind of concerned because those pecans will kind of swell up. Make sure that they're all underneath there. Then I parched these, or toasted them, and I'm just going to lay a few on it just because that's pecan pie. I don't have time to sit here and put them perfectly on there. So, kind of just displace them. You can see that black on them where I parched them in this very iron skillet. Okay. Now we'll put that in a 350 degree oven. Regular oven would be about 350 for 50 minutes. And with mine being the convection oven, I'll probably cook it at 350 for probably 25, and then I'll check it. Okay, I'll be back. I got to thinking I don't want that to burn, so I'm going to use my silicone lip and put it around my skillet so that it won't burn. I could have put tinfoil on there, but I'm not going to. It's got a little hook right there you use. And that just kind of keeps that pie crust, especially if it's a pie crust that folds out.